Mm. Can y'all hear me? Oh, no, here yet. Like, I'm trying to make sure you guys can hear me. Yep, the audio is on. So, hey guys. So I'm like 99% sure you can hear me. Yeah, so this is my face. Like everyone was like wondering, oh, do I actually look like Eric Church? I mean, if you give me a ball cap with aviators, I got the goatee somewhat. So yeah, today I'm just gonna talk about new music because I don't have a computer anymore. It's being sent off for repairs. I have no way to make videos at the moment, so I'm just improvising, just giving you any source of content I can. So, uh, what do I want to talk about first? So, I'm pretty sure y'all saw the Parker review. It's a bit of a mixed bag online on the forums. Like some people love it. Like, I know some people saying this is what country music needs. I know some people who just like they just absolutely hate this record. They think, "Oh, Parker sold out. He's boyfriend country," and I think people like Saving Country Music Trigger. They're at a fine ground, like middle ground point in the like discussion. I think they draw a fine line between the people who don't like the record, such as myself, and people who adore the record. I think it's a fantastic review. You should check it out. Personally, I don't like. Yeah, I do have a favorite song, but it's just not good. I don't find any single song good on the album. I'm sorry, like hot take, but yeah, it just wasn't that good. I think nothing was bad. It was just I think the worst song is a 5 out of 10, and the best is a 6 out of 10. To put it in perspective, and yeah, Port St. Joe. I keep telling myself I got to do this Port St. Joe video. Port St. Joe is one of my all-time favorite albums. Yeah, it's like a 9 or 10 out of 10. That's my opinion on it. I love it. I think it's the best country album done by any duo. I absolutely love it. Um, but yeah, Parker. I don't like his voice. I listened to his two other albums yesterday. What was the first one called? Probably Fall. I don't know. The one with like the gold album cover. That's a decent album. It's pretty fun. I like the fusion of like a little bit of Heartland rock and country sound. It's fine. It's like I give it a decent 6 out of 10. Like around the same place I would put Brian Kelly's album. Oh yeah, probably wrong. Yeah, that's the name of it. Um, do I have any favorite artists from Texas? Yeah, Cody Jinks. Like Cody Jinks is awesome. Um, Limestone Kid was actually really good. I actually quite enjoyed that album a lot. Like I think it does. It fixes all the problems I have with what's it called? Gold Chain Cowboy. Yeah, 5 out of 10. We got a new Carly Pierce song that came out today or yesterday. It's good. It, it's like what Grady called Frankenstein country. It's just a bunch of uh, references to Loretta Lynn, I believe, and like it's good. I like the sound of it. I wasn't the biggest fan of 29. Like everyone was saying, oh, "Yep, new masterpiece classic." I just didn't see that. I mean, it was fine. Not fine. It was a good album. I'm not going to mince words. It was a really good album, but I'd give it like a strong 7. Like I think it's decent. Not I keep saying decent. There is no bad song. I think there is some iffy production choices on a few of them, but overall, I think it's an excellent record all around. Even though I think it could be much better in some aspects. 29 is the best song, and I genuinely don't understand why we need 8 more songs. Like I think 29 told a complete story from front to back. I don't think we need eight more songs. I think that will just ruin what was already made. And like 29 is still one of my favorite albums of the year. The Yola record. I love the Yola record. It's excellent. Um, is it country? No. As much as I love Viola, it's not a country album. It's a very smooth, classic R&B feel. Like there's some country esque moments on it, but overall, no. And like I don't blame Yola for doing it because like she's not going to succeed in this genre. In this genre, it's like there's no way because Nashville is just for a bunch of muscular white dudes. Yeah, she's not going to succeed there. So I understand and I respect the decision of just going in a new lane of the genre. The Billie Eilish album is probably my favorite from last week. I love the lo-fi vibes. Writing was excellent. I think it is good as When We Fall Asleep. Where do we go? No, I don't think it's as ambitious. I don't think it's as tense. I think it's a lot more relaxed. But overall, it's great. I think y'all should check it out. Yeah, I've listened to all the Cody records. Uh, Adobe Sessions is definitely my favorite. It's 9 out of 10. Lifers was like I think I give it an 8 or 7. Wanting was an 8. I'm Not the Devil I think was an 8. After the Fire was a 7. Yeah, the all Cody doesn't have a bad album. I've yet to talk about the Kojo songs. They're pretty good. That's just it. They're just pretty good. I don't think they're like what the genre needs desperately. I think the genre is in a pretty decent place. It's not like this is what we did. I think this is what we needed. Maybe like 5 years ago, yeah, this would have been great. But still, going on the equality alone, they're just pretty good. Everyone loves Till You Can't. I think it's just a pretty poor version of some of it. Uh, it's less poetic. It's fun. It's bouncy. It's in your face. And I understand why people love that. It's a couple of weeks. What do you think about the new Randall King song? I forgot the name of it, but I think the one you're talking about it was pretty good. It's just a standard honky tonk bar song that's fun. Like I'm all for fun songs, and it's a very fun song. It's just yeah, I listen to a lot of fun songs. It's just another one to add to the pile. Um, uh, what else was new? The Zach Brown band songs. Yeah. A favorite Randall King song, probably Mirror Mirror. The Zach Brown band songs definitely are whatever. I don't think they're terrible. Like there's not a single song as bad as what was on the Owl. Um, they're generally safe. There's not a lot of musicianship going on. So while I don't think this will be the worst Zach Brown band album, it'll be the most forgettable by far. Like I think everyone will remember how awful the Owl was. Everyone's gonna remember how awesome You Get What You Give was. No one's gonna remember whatever this record's gonna be. I think because Zach Brown band doesn't know what they want to be after the Owl. Like everyone literally said no to the Owl, and everyone just and they just took a step back and they just don't know what to be at this point. I think. Favorite Brothers Osborne song. Person like objectively probably I don't remember Me, but what's the name of it? Stay a Little Longer is my jam. I mean, I don't think it's going back to the roots. Like it doesn't feel like roots. It just feels very safe. Favorite person on the Overshore Discord. Um, uh, I'm not gonna say that because that's kind of rude. But Big Bird. Um, what else? I was new in a few weeks. Let me check my playlist. Uh, oh yeah, the Dirks Bentley song. It's fine. I can't even pronounce whatever that is you're trying to say. I Kuragabin. I can't pronounce that. I'm sorry. Um, but yeah, Beers on Me is literally a clone of Gone. Like I was hoping that with Dirk's going with his old collaborators that he would put something like Up on the Ridge again. Like like really going hard with Pride in the Name of Love, performing that live. I was hoping, yes, we're getting more Up on the Ridge esque material, but no, this is just standard booming Dirks, the kind of stuff you would find like 5-1, 5-0, somebody called a popo, and it's fine. I really am digging the new Lauren Elena song. I haven't listened to that. Yeah, I haven't listened to that. Sorry. Lauren Elena, oh my god, she is literally a meme at this point. She's literally just a meme. Like whenever somebody needs to do a collaboration, just get Lauren Elena. She was on the What If one. She was on the my roommate's back. Um, what else was there? It was What Ifs. She was on the John Party one, the Breland one. I think she did one with Chris Young now, or maybe I'm getting confused with somebody else. But she's literally on like she's just primarily just collaborations, which is kind of sad. Um, but yeah, I don't. I mean, I think Lauren Leda is an excellent vocalist. I think she tried the hard, but that's about it. Um, what else was new? Um, since I can't do videos, I'll just talk about what I'm trying to do. The best song on Inside. Well, my favorite is That Funny Feeling. That song just broke me. It really broke me. But the objectively best song is Welcome to the Internet by far. That song just not only does it slap, it's just so deep that it's insane. Um, what? But yeah, if you haven't listened to Inside, what are you doing? That's album of the year right there. Speaking of Bo Burnham, I am going to be doing a video on him soon because ironically, Bo Burnham is one of the best advocates for good country music I've ever seen. Like you check what he did on Parks and Rec, you've seen what he did on his comedy specials. Like he legit performed pandering in front of a Nashville crowd. Like like he was like wow. Until Donda drops, yeah, no. Like Kanye's, I respect Kanye. I respect his music. Don't like it. But what else? What else? I keep forgetting what else came out in the recent weeks that I don't cover because I genuinely cover the big stuff, and that's it. I don't because whenever I want to cover like albums that I truly adore, like "Hopeless Romantic" by Bobby Dove, it's like which is a masterpiece. I think it's excellent all around. The vocals, the writing, the production, the instrumentals. It's just amazing. CLB. I don't know what that means. Um, what else? Oh yeah, the Wishful Drinking song, the Ingrid Andrews Sam Hunt collaboration is fine. Like it's a normal drinking song that I genuinely don't care. What were we talking about again? Yeah, but it's fine. But to be fair, it is not the worst collaboration that came out this that in the past nah, in the past months. That title belongs to If I Didn't Love You. That song is just so boring. Like the standard boom 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 tempo, the cheap lyrics. What makes a good drinking song? It's very hard to describe. I think I say it's less about what you do with the alcohol you're doing and more about how the alcohol relates to the emotional story you're trying to tell. Like really good drinking songs, I think, are Drowns the Whiskey by Jason Aldean, Whiskey Lullaby by Brad Paisley. What's another good one? Whiskey Glasses by Morgan Wallen. A lot of whiskey songs. Whiskey apparently does good. But yeah, if you're just gonna say you bring the beer, I got the beer, I got the shine. That doesn't make a good song. I and if you strictly rely on alcohol puns like wishful drinking, I'm not really gonna enjoy it. But yeah, I think not only that, I personally prefer songs that don't glorify alcohol consumption. As someone who's vowed never to drink alcohol, I don't really like. It's like a little pet peeve of mine. So that's why I think Glasses is not Whiskey Glasses. Whiskey Lullaby is the greatest drinking song of all time. Every song is a drinking song. It's fun. That's just it. It's a fun song. It's a little clever, but that's it. I'm not I'm not the biggest fan of Midland. They're not overrated. It's just that they have amazing sound, probably the best out of any mainstream group, but they're not the strongest in the writing department, and I think that kills them a little bit. And, oh yeah, the new Midland EP, it's good, very good. Um, my favorite is, I believe it's Two Step. The writing is a lot smarter than the past two projects or past three projects they've ever done. Do I think they are a plant? I genuinely don't care. If you make good music, you make good music. If you make bad music, you make bad music. That's really how I view it. I don't really care what your authenticity is. Um, what else? I mean, yeah, the Midland record is good. It's strong, very strong, 7 out of 10. Um, I think it's a little too overproduced. But that's like my only complaint, my only major complaint about it. But that's excuse me. Um, Trying to find out what else came out. Please excuse me. Um, oh yeah. Um, the Flatland album. Oh, the Flatland album is also really good. I don't think it's the best thing Flatland's ever done. I don't think it's the worst thing they've ever done. Well, not even the worst. They don't have a bad album. But yeah, it's not an album of the year contender for me. I think it's too polished. I think the instrumentals are great, but writing wise, it's decent at best. I don't think it's the most smartest project to come out this year. It's a fun album, and if you don't go for a intellectual experience, you will enjoy the new Flatland record. But that's just how I do. I don't really I read which FC album is your Homeland Insecurity? Sleeping Alone is my favorite song by far. Yeah, they definitely were trying to go for the mainstream appeal. Like, I mean, Flatland was beginning to take off. They were getting a pretty decent following. They've been touring. Apparently, they're touring with Luke Combs, I believe. I'm not sure, but yeah, they're trying to appeal to the more uh, mainstream esque vibes while still trying to keep a country sound, which I respect. I truly respect that. I'm trying to find out what else came out. Dylan Marlowe, my favorite artist, had a song. It was better than Driver's License Country version, which is still garbage. I think I'd lower that song score to like a 3 out of 10. Um, uh, there's also Ruthless by Gary Allen. I've been very hesitant to talk about this album, and I still am. I think it's a not only is it a very poorly delivered album, I think it's a very instrumentally bland album. It just kind of disgusts me on a personal level. Like Sex by Garrett, like Sex, that's literally the name of the song. It's called Sex, is very insulting to a lot of my beliefs. And it's more of a pet peeve song. I don't think it's definitely not going to infuriate people as much as me. But personally, I think it's my worst song of the year contender. It's the by far the worst song. I'm not gonna go into. I'll go into that like in December why I truly hate it. Um, let's. I mean, let's go in. Besides new music, I finally watched Hamilton this month. last month. It's very good. I didn't expect it to be as good as it did. I'd give the musical a strong 9 or even a 10. I think all the songs are great. Well, not all of them, but like almost all of the songs are great. I think a lot of them are like 9 out of 10 material. My if you want a couple of my recommendations from Hamilton, like if you just want to listen to a really good song, I recommend. I have a list. One last time, probably my favorite song on the entire soundtrack. Say no to this. Helpless. It's quiet uptown, and my shot. Guns and ships. Like they're all fire. To put it in simple words. Um, I'm also gonna do a video eventually on why Ko Wetzel's overrated. I've been getting massive demand to listen to Ko Wetzel, and I don't like him. I just don't. Uh, he's not for me. If he's totally for you, that's genuinely fine. More power to you, but I don't like him. I think his vocals are very irritating. I think his production is some of the worst I've ever seen. But yeah, I'll go into that whenever this video is made. Um, yeah, Ko is pretty much someone you love or hate. I don't hate Ko. I don't think he's made a bad record. I think he peaks at okay, and he peaks at mediocre, he's worse at his worst is mediocre. But yes, like everyone was I think it's less that he's overrated, but he's more overhyped. Everyone says like "Sellout" was the best record of 2020, and this would not even be in my top 20 at all. Um, like Cole Wetzel is just as strong as Sturgill Simpson or Tyler Childers. Um, the most I'll get back to that, but the most disappointing album I've ever come across, or like for the year. Um, Disappointing album this year, Heart by far. Like it's still a good album, but I wanted it to be so much more than just a very uh, separated spectrum of quality. Yeah, definitely Heart. Heart by Eric Church was the most disappointing album this year. It's still good, but I wanted like a really really strong album. Yeah, Soul is definitely the worst Eric Church record by far. But I don't. But technically, Heart and Soul is one album, so The Outsiders is still in last place for me. Like if might as well just go with an Eric Church ranking because I'm probably never gonna do it. So last place, I'm doing 7 albums only. I'm not separating Heart and Soul. Last place is still The Outsiders. Outsiders is a mess. It's has some really powerful songs on it, like 5 great songs, and then the rest of it is awful. Like I'm not mincing words, it's awful. Like this is worse than most of your bro country stuff. Yeah. And next up is number 6 would be Heart and Soul by it's all Eric Church. But yeah, the biggest problem with it is that he released so much material, and like and was I only listened to And like 3 times because a friend lent it to me, and like you only provide 2 songs from And, really? That's just kind of dumb. But yeah, I think Heart and Soul, there's not much of a consistency between each single separate record. It doesn't tell a story like I love from my Eric Church albums. Writing is decent. Sound is mostly interesting. Like I said, it's less of an Eric Church album and more so an Eric Church band album. Um, At number five, I'd probably say "Sinners Like Me." It's it has "Lightning," which is one of the best Eric Church songs ever, but it just has a lot of standard country stuff, decent sound, decent stories. I know, just a lot of pointless stuff. It's fine, but there's some great gems in it. But "Sinners Like Me" is definitely the not the most overrated, but probably the most. It's just the fact it's put on such a high pedestal kind of confuses me. At number four, I'd probably say Carolina. Carolina, I love Carolina. I think there's so much about it that makes Eric Church the legend he is. Um, but yeah, it has its problems. I think the first chunk of the record is kind of pointless. "Leave My Willie Alone" is a bad album closer, but the rest of the album is tight. It's probably like the most tightest thematic thing Eric Church has ever done. Um, Three is "Chief." Chief still holds up to this day as it's a great record. I it's when it knows it's a record that knows when to be intellectual and thought provoking. It's a record that knows when to be fun and lighthearted. It's a great balance between the two. I think production wise, it's great. I think writing wise, it's on point, and delivery, it's amazing. I think yeah, it does have its problems. "Homeboy" is a very questionable racial song, but beyond that, you already know what's great about it. Springsteen, "Drink in My Hand," like Jesus does. Um, but yeah, number two would be "Desperate Man." "Desperate Man" is easily the not the most underrated, but the most underappreciated because I think everyone's reaction to it was okay, and like I think "Desperate Man" not only did it take great risks, I truly admire. I think the writing by is extremely excellent. I genuinely did not expect the record to be as good as it did. It had its problems, but there's so much to adore. And of course, number one, "Mr. Misunderstood." All time favorite album. Writing excellent, production excellent, instrumentals not the greatest, but still very strong for what they are. And it's just probably one of the biggest reasons this channel even exists. "Sinners Like Me" lacks maturity, like Mr. Misunderstood. Yeah, I understand it. Yeah, like "Sinners Like Me" is definitely the weirdest one. I might do a video on it eventually. I want to do that for almost every Eric Church album down the line, but yeah. Um, I keep pushing back the Grammy ranking video that I keep trying to do. Like if you saw, I did the one for albums, and now I'm trying to do one for songs. And like, there's a lot of songs people adore, like "Where Were You When the World Stopped Turning," "Blown Away," um, "Jesus Take the Wheel," uh, "Space Cowboy," "Humble and Kind," "Live Like You Were Dying." Like, there's so many songs people adore from this album, not album, from the winners of the past 22 years. And like, this was a little harder than ranking the albums because I think with albums there's enough to distinguish whether or not it's higher than another. And with songs, I think it's pretty difficult. Um, I also am working on like there's a whole debate on whether we need a savior for country music, or a leader for country music. People have been getting really into this debate. Like the future saviors are Morgan Wallen, Hardy, Parker McCollum, Luke Combs, John Party, and like I don't believe country music needs a savior. If you're desperately relying on mainstream music to suffice, that's on you. Because there's a great world of indie music before you. Like I think you, I think you could find just so much better stuff and stop settling for radio country. Because if you keep praying radio country, will get better. It's not going to. Like I stopped listening to radio country for probably a little bit before the pandemic. Could you go into details why Luke Combs is a better artist than Morgan Wallen? Yeah. Um, Luke Combs not as good as a vocalist, but his production, his production team, his instrumental team, and him himself as a writer is just vastly superior to literally anything on Dangerous and anything on If I Know Me. Even when like Combs is not taking things seriously, like on Angels Working Overtime, he's having a blast. And with Morgan, it's very calculated, very like you could tell this was produced. And it's like Morgan, I think, does good music. Luke does good music, but he has a much more fun time with it. And I don't think Morgan's at that point yet. I think, and plus, Morgan doesn't have anything as close as to When It Rains It Pours of his own original material. Just saying. Um. Uh. What else? Kip Moore. Yeah, I had a Kip Moore video planned. I planned a whole script. Like I reviewed. It was like a big review of the three major albums. It was Wild Ones, Slow Heart, and Wild World. I think I was reviewing those three albums because everyone said this is where Kip made his turnaround. And like the video, it didn't get scrapped, but I keep pushing it and pushing it. And then I realized like I wrote this script like in April and it's now July. So these aren't my initial thoughts anymore. So I just didn't see a point in making it. Um, yeah, I think overall Kip's pretty good. Like he's not my favorite. I think he's. I'm not trying to be mean, but he's a discount Eric Church in terms of what he's trying to provide to the industry. Um, but yeah, I think he's a decent alternative to like Dan and Shay. Kip appeals more to women. Nah. I get the appeal. I get the appeal for Kip. That's Brett Young. That's Dan and Shay. That like Dan and Shay is designed for middle aged white ladies. I've been saying it for years. Like he's just like that record was awful. Like I don't understand how you drag out an 8-track album. I don't understand how you make such a boring, vague lyrical experience. I don't understand how you make such a poor produced album. I don't understand how you do such a horrible job with a pretty strong vocalist. I hate the Brett Young album. It's the worst of 2021. Screw Ruthless by Gary Allen. Screw Country Stuff by Walker Hayes. Brett Young has the worst album of the year. Just to let you know, I'm accepting any questions. Like I'll answer anything you got. I think Morgan is like, of course, like, you're allowed to think whoever you want is more talented. Like I don't think you have to like agree with me all the time. Any guilty pleasure song from this? Good for You by Olivia Rodrigo. That is like my favorite song of this year. I jam to it all the time. Um, Other guilty pleasures, Problematic, even though that song itself is frankly excellent. Um, any other guilty pleasures that I can think of? Probably the entirety of Sunshine State of Mind. I take it back. I think the record is still really good. I think it's I think it's still a 6 out of 10 objectively, but I have so much fun with it more than most of the records that came out this year. Uh, Yeah, I don't like If I Didn't Love You. I think it's a very generic breakup song. I'm just tired of breakup songs these days, at least new ones. They don't provide me with anything that's truly interesting, anything unique. These days they just follow the tropes of I'm in pain, I need to drink, I need my heart hurts and you can do much better than that. And there are great songs that do that, like All Too Well, Taylor Swift, Luke, When It Rains It Pours by Luke Combs. These songs subvert the narrative. Not All Too Well, but it does that narrative excellent. And Luke Combs subverts the narrative of your average breakup song. Even a song like Dick Down in Dallas, I don't really like that song, but it subverts the narrative. It adds something different. And I will always upheld something different over than something that's just following a trend, even if on a quality spectrum they're on different levels. Um, Old school country breakup songs. I haven't heard a lot of those, to be honest. I'm a guy. I love some good ones, but uh, I'm not the biggest expert on breakup songs from the old age of the '90s, the '80s, the '70s, '60s. I like the prison songs, your train songs from that era. Um, I think country music in the old school was just much more honest. I think not even just honest, just more authentic. It came from the heart, even if it was a fictional story. They were just more immersive than what you listen to in the mainstream today, and you don't get that much anymore. Um, what else? The Sturgill record. Yeah, that I am very excited for that. It's the supposed final chapter of Sturgill Simpson. I think I love concept albums. It's a concept album. I love rootsy bluegrass albums. It's a rootsy bluegrass album. It is everything I'm probably ever going to want this year, and it's probably the closest thing that might dethrone Inside by Bo Burnham as my top album of the year. He Stopped Loving Her Today. Yeah, excellent song, masterpiece. You already know it. But um, what else? What else? I mean, I don't have much else to talk about. Was great. Yes, Grady was an inspiration, but I've had other inspirations to do it. I've been wanting to do it for a while, ever since probably 2 years ago I wanted to do it. Um, uh, but yeah, Grady's helped a lot. He was the reason my channel is as big as it is right now. Eric Church, Mr. Misunderstood. You already know this. I don't know anyone who really disagrees with that fact. Excuse me. Um, yeah. Um, I think. I mean, yeah. I'm not gonna say that Mr. Misunderstood is the best Eric Church album because there's so much subjectiveness in music. You don't like. I think whenever people watch my videos, they're so they're wondering if I agree with their thoughts, and no, I'm just a guy that wants to express his opinion. Some people think that I trying to dictate others people's opinions. I'm not trying to dictate your opinions. I'm expressing mine, and that's just how I express it. Um, what else to talk about? If you want to ask me anything, guys, now's the time. Um, I'll give you. We're probably gonna go out soon. Who knows? I'm not even going to listen to the Chris Young album. I mean, I'm obligated to, but I'm not looking forward to it. Almost everything on it that we've gotten so far has been garbage or mediocre. I don't know. Like Chris Young is the definition of a downward spiral. Ever since losing sleep, he's just been off the rails. He chooses to follow the corniest trends. Like 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 if you really think about this. So in 2019, he releases "Raised on Country," which was in this active trend of we're going to talk about how country we are. Um, and he continues to release material that just goes with whatever the trend is in country music. And he would continue to release that stuff that was very simpy, very uh, lip service emotional. Is that what I like to call it? And so, like, you could clearly tell with the Chris Young record that they did not make the album at the same time. They made it as you went along. Chris Stapleton. Um, yeah, you already know. I love Chris. Traveler is my favorite Grammy-winning album ever. 10 out of 10. The From a Room albums are really good. Starting Over was an excellent follow up. But yeah, Chris always brings it. I think he's great representative of good country. Cody Johnson, very overrated. Like he's good, great. Not he's good, amazing vocals. But this dude, he's not the smartest artist I've ever seen. He's not a Laurie McKenna. He's not a Sturgill Simpson. He's just a fun alternative. And like I said, a fun alternative is good. I think you always want a fun alternative. And Cody Johnson is the definition of that. But I do not see him as one of the greats of modern time. Like, if I wanted to make a list of the greatest modern country artists, Sturgill Simpson, Jason Isbell, Laurie McKenna, uh, Tyler Childers, like Cody Johnson's not near their level. I did make a video on Meta Modern Sounds. It's called, well, not an entire video. It's 2014, 2015, my favorite years of music. Sturgill, Meta Modern Sounds is one of my all-time favorite albums. 10 out of 10. I think it's just very revolutionary. It's the reason we have so much good country music today, in my opinion. Not so much because of Sturgill, but because of Dave Cobb. And like Dave Cobb, this would promote Dave Cobb to go do Traveler, and Traveler would spawn off these great country albums that we see today, like On the Rocks, uh, Never Will. But yeah, Sturgill's an excellent lyricist. I think he knows what he wants to be, even if it doesn't pan out in the end. Like for Sound and Fury, I don't like Sound and Fury. Oh yeah, you don't. We don't have to talk about music. You can ask me anything. Video games, mute movies. Um, I watch a lot of not indie films, but very emotional films. Like I've watched Portrait of a Lady on Fire, Lady Bird, Little Women. A lot of very emotional movies that I think I relate to. I also watch a lot of superhero movies, a lot of animated movies. I watch a lot of animated shows. Like I'm watching The Owl House. Excellent show. Love the lore. Love everything about it. It's a great day. It's a great week to be an Owl House fan. I'll say that. Um, do I listen to Steel Woods? No, I do not. I've been getting a lot of. Wait a minute. I can't remember the name of the album. I think I did. I think I did listen to Steel Woods. I gotta check. Yeah, yep, I did. Um, I listened to the latest album, All Your Stones, and it's really good. I love its very. I love the aesthetics. I love its atmospheric tone. It's not an album of the year contender for me, but yeah, it's really great. Um, but yeah, I like to watch my movies the way I listen to my albums. Sometimes I'm in the mood for a fun adventure. Sometimes I'm in the mood for a very emotional experience. It really depends. Um, uh, wow, we're already 45 minutes in. Wow, that's a lot. I think that's gonna be it for me. I don't think there's much else for me to talk about. Um, well, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm signing off. I'm gonna try to do these as much as I can, until my laptop gets repaired and I can do videos. So, goodbye.